In this video, we're going to look at working with logistic regression model output. So the example we've been talking about is having an outcome variable of is there evidence of coronary heart disease, 0 for no, 1 for yes, and explanatory variables of the numeric age, as well as an indicator of if they're on treatment, no or yes, no being the reference and having an indicator for yes, receiving the treatment. So with this data, if you were to fit the model, you'd find that the model equation is the log of the odds of coronary heart disease. So again, a reminder, we can look at logistic in terms of the log of the odds of the disease using a line, right, or a linear equation, or we can also see the model expressed on the scale of probability of disease, and that's on the scale of the logistic function. Okay, so if you're to fit that, you'd find the intercept is a negative 5.6, a coefficient for age of positive 0.13, and a coefficient for the treatment of negative 1.52. So we'll look at using this to first make a prediction, right? So estimate what's the probability of coronary heart disease for someone who's 50 years old receiving the treatment. And then we'll look at estimating an adjusted odds ratio. Right? So the odds ratio associated with treatment, right? What effect does treatment have on risk of coronary heart disease, adjusting for age. Before we do that, let's just quickly remind ourselves of some of the interpretation of these coefficients. So we can see here the positive coefficient for age tells us as age increases, the log of odds of coronary heart disease increase. Right? And again, if the log odds increase, that means the odds increase, which means the probability increases. Right? So in other words, as people get older, the likelihood of coronary heart disease increases. We can see a negative coefficient for the treatment. Right? Again, this is telling us if someone receives the treatment, it lowers the log odds of coronary heart disease, or we can think of it as lowering the chance of coronary heart disease. Now, as we progress through learning all this stuff, we'll learn a bit more about being careful of just interpreting these coefficients directly, because we need to think about is there confounding or other things distorting those. But let's save that conversation for later. Right now we're just trying to build a foundation in logistic regression modeling. So let's look at making this prediction here. A reminder that we can look at this model on the scale of p hat, right, which is the probability of the disease, right? So we're just going to shorten it by writing p or p hat. So this is e to the b naught, right, plus 0.13 times the age, right? We're going to estimate for a 50-year-old, minus 1.52. Right? And they're on treatment, so the indicator for treatment takes on a value of 1. Right? If they were not receiving treatment, this would be 0, and that term goes away. All that over 1 plus e to the negative 5.6 plus 0.13 times the age minus 1.52, and they're on treatment, so the indicator equals 1. Okay, so if you sub all these in, you're going to come up with 0.35 or 35%. Okay, so based on our model, we estimate that for someone who's 50 years old receiving treatment, there's about a 35% chance of coronary heart disease. And again, a reminder, this data set is not the general population. They're a high-risk population for CHD. Okay, so don't get too alarmed. This is not the risk for a general population. Okay, but so this is just looking at how we can use logistic regression to estimate the probability of certain outcomes. And we'll see as we go through different examples, we can build in more X variables, right? Maybe the risk of coronary heart disease goes up or down if you're male or female, right? So we could add in an indicator for biological sex, or if someone's smoking or not, or exercising regularly or not, right? So we can have more explanatory variables that are going to give us a better prediction, or maybe a more accurate prediction. Okay, and also we won't look at doing this, but like we've seen throughout the course, we can also attach a confidence interval around that, right? That's our estimated probability. We can go plus or minus, right? And say we're pretty sure the probability is in this range. We won't look at doing that now, but just a reminder that those are things we can do. Now, let's take a look at estimating an adjusted odds ratio. Okay, and here, we're not going to look at the mathematical justification for this. Okay, I'm just going to state it as a fact for now. Okay, but if we exponentiate, so we take the exponent of this coefficient, that's going to give us an odds ratio for x1 adjusted for all the other variables in the model. Okay, now again, we're just looking at a kind of brief introduction of logistic regression here, so we won't spend the time on mathematically justifying this for now. Okay. In the separate course where we look at logistic regression in much more detail, we'll look at a mathematical justification for why this gets us an odds ratio. Okay. But so if we want the odds ratio for treatment, right, so the odds ratio associated with treatment, we can exponentiate that coefficient 1.52, negative 1.52, and that's going to get us the odds ratio associated with treatment. Right? And earlier in the course, we've learned about odds ratios, so the interpretation here is no different. So we can state this as the odds of coronary heart disease, right, or the odds of the outcome for the treatment group are 0.22 times the odds of the no treatment group. Now the only difference from what we've seen earlier in the course is now we've adjusted for age. Right, so we thought age was a confounder, and again we learned about the concept of confounding earlier. Right? So an example would be if those receiving treatment are older on average, and people who are older are more likely to get coronary heart disease. Right? If that was true, age is a confounder, right? And if we saw we want to kind of separate these two effects. We want to look at what effect does treatment have, adjusting for age. So if we had the treated group and the untreated group being the same ages, how would the odds of CHD differ? Now also a reminder, we saw we can subtract 1 from these to interpret them as percentage changes. Right? So this would come up to 0.78. So we can think of that again as a 78% decrease. Care to say that in words? Right? The odds of coronary heart disease for those who are receiving treatment are 78% lower than the odds of those who aren't. Right? So it has a really big decrease in the odds of CHD. Now, a few important notes, and I'll write some of these down because I think they're important enough to make sure we get them on the board here. So some important notes. Just a reminder about the goals of model. Right? So we learned that in general, we can use regression models to try and make predictions, right? To try and predict what's the probability of coronary heart disease, or to estimate effect sizes. Right? What effect does X have on Y? Right? What effect does treatment have on the risk of CHD? Does it decrease it? Okay. Now we learned about variable selection. The variables we're going to select to put in a model depend on, are we trying to make predictions, at which point we want variables that are good at predicting if someone's going to have coronary heart disease or not. If it's to estimate an effect size, right, what effect does treatment have on odds of CHD, we want to think about confounding, right? What variables are distorting that estimate and try and remove that. So I just wanted to point that out because here we use the same model to both make predictions and to estimate an effect size, right? In reality, we shouldn't do that. We're building the model for one purpose or the other, and the variables that go in will be slightly different depending on our goal. Here, we use the same model to do both for the sake of demonstration, right, and for learning, so that we can see how can we use a logistic model to make predictions, how can we use a logistic model to estimate an odds ratio or an effect size. And the final thing I just wanted to say is that logistic regression is a very big, very deep topic. We're just looking at a brief intro here, so there's still many more details and important things to learn about it that we haven't had time to go into in this short intro.
Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys again soon.